We'll get started with an opening statement as always, and then we'll turn it over to questions.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Obviously always great to get a win and certainly great to get a sweep, which we needed. As I talked before the weekend, getting some separation between us and 500, I think is really important. Obviously didn't go at the end after really pitching it really well for the first, 24 and 2/3 innings. Obviously the last 7 outs weren't easy to get, which, you expect in our league. It's hard to sweep anybody, and they're going to keep fighting, and they put some good swings on some pitches late in the game and made it interesting. Just glad we didn't have to go to Cam. Good to see Brock have a big day. His big 3-run homer and then the 2-out RBI there. The 2-out RBIs by Hawk and Brock there in the ninth were huge. We would have went to Manassi if we had to, but I certainly didn't want to. Teddy McGraw threw the ball really well. Was pleased with his outing, and we need to continue to build on the momentum.
Tom, I heard the announcers mention this, and I know I saw the final play where Brock snagged that, but it seems like Brock had not only a good weekend at the plate, but he did things in the field for you too. Just how important is it to have him kind of be the anchor of that defense on the infield? Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he and Nick Kurtz on the corners. I mean, you don't get any better than those two guys on the corners, and they're saving runs. We talk all the time. There's more than one way to help a ball club win. It doesn't always involve getting a big hit, but Brock and Sess, great play by Sess there in left field. 2 great plays by Brock today, not just the one in the game, but the one early in the game on the ball. The left-handed hitter hit to start the inning. I think it was the top of the 5th. Left-handed hitter, shot one through the 6-hole, and Brock made a great play, kind of moving to his left to get the leadoff out. And those, as we see, those leadoff outs are huge. You mentioned the importance of kind of getting ahead of being, 500 or whatever, and the importance of this series sweep. I know from a team perspective, you want them to take it a game at a time and just focus on one game, one at bat, one out at a time. But from a macro perspective, how important was this sweep for your ball club? Well, it was, again, I wouldn't say it was imperative, but it's certainly huge. I mean, it gets us to 9 wins in the league. 15's certainly the magic number where, if you get 15 wins in the league, I don't think we've ever had anybody go 500 in the league and not make the NCAA tournament. So, obviously goal number 1 is to make the conference tournament. Goal number 2 is to make the NCAA tournament. And, we need 6 more wins in, 5 weekends, to get us to that magic number where, we start to feel good about the NCAA tournament, and, we can start to talk about, something greater than that.
Tom, did things get a little hairy there in the late innings, just the way the score tightened up?
Yeah, that's an understatement. I mean, it got really hairy. Again, we got to 12-10 and thought we were going to have to go to Manassi there. And then, Seth hits a big home run, and then we work a couple walks, and then Tommy Hawk gets a big 2-out hit. And then Brock gets a big 2-out hit, and all of a sudden we had a little more comfort and didn't have to go to Cam, which, again, we would have if we had to, but I'm glad we didn't. I never want to throw somebody 3 times in a row, but if we had to do it, we would have.
Just generally speaking, do you have I know you guys are playing well right now, win a lot of baseball games. Do you have a timeline on Lucas Costello? And then if he is able to come back, what does that do for both Bennett and Hawk?
Yeah, I doubt we'll have. I mean, I think we might have him back defensively, here, in 3 or 4 weeks, but I don't see him swinging the bat here this season. I mean, again, maybe in the postseason, but I don't see any chance in the regular season of him swinging the bat for us. But there is a chance we could have him defensively, which could be huge as well.
Anything else, guys?
I guess, Tom, how encouraging is it to win 2 low-scoring and close games and then have a game where bats come alive? And I know you would have liked to see the pitching number stay around 2, but to win a game like that that's high scoring also kind of shows some versatility in the ways you can win.
No, I couldn't agree more, Connor. I mean, we won a tight game at Elon on Tuesday as well. So win a tight game on the road, win 2 tight games where we've got to play defense and make pitches in big situations. Had some guys throw really well out of the bullpen. I mean, again, our bullpen today wasn't a complete disaster because, obviously Brennan Oxford came in a bases loaded 1-out situation, got 2 quick outs. Grizz came in with, with a couple guys on and got 2 quick outs, so the first 2 guys we brought in really bridged those innings well. Obviously it didn't go well for Reed or Derek behind that, but at the same time, Derek was, both those guys were 1 pitch away from being out of those innings. I mean, we had a kind of a 50-50 ball go against us and we ended up walking a guy and then obviously the homer, but so just one of those things where I don't think those guys threw as bad as the numbers would suggest. But, again, to your point, you got to find different ways to win. And in the last 4 games, we've done that.
You guys all set? Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Walt.
guys.